Hello and welcome to Bonnets to Boats. We're continuing our exploration of the painted canal arts, and we're looking at dayboat art today. Dayboat is the term used to describe a boat that was used on short-haul journeys that lasted for the day. These boats would have either no cabin at all or just a small one, big enough for the boatman to shelter in should it be raining and, if he was lucky, to house a small stove so he could warm up. Although there were dayboats of a kind operating in most industrial areas, the most famous dayboats are the ones from Birmingham and the Black Country, and these fascinating boats in turn bred their own form of waterways art. It's hard to imagine now, but once the Black Country was described as black by day and red by night. Dayboats swarmed the canals, and major cargo for them was coal carried loose in the hold. Decoration was purely chosen by the boat's owner, and a company naturally wanted just two things: for their boats to be an advertisement for their services, and for them to be instantly recognisable. The latter wasn't for vanity. At that time a fast turnaround was essential, and for that a boat needed to be identified quickly and accurately. When the boats gathered in clusters on the wharves, it was a wall of black on the murky brown water, and the bright splashes of colour helped pinpoint what boat was where in the fold. With some of them having no cabin at all, the primary location for dayboat decoration was the top bend of the boat, mostly with the fore end taking patterns and the stern end taking sign writing. Red was the most popular base colour, probably simply by way of its visibility, and over the top would be any variation of geometric shapes in a variety of colours. Diamonds were particularly popular, along with circles and crescents, but there are records of most shapes being used at one point or another in the century or so the dayboats ruled the BCN. As part of the identification drive, many companies would choose a symbol as their own mark, knowing that an illiterate boatman would be able to recognise it far better than the sign writing. Where the boat had a cabin, her paint was fairly utilitarian. The most popular colour scheme was red and green with white writing, and she would carry her company's name and her own identifier, usually a number. On the back bulkhead of the cabin would often be a pattern. This pattern was seen on long-distance boats too, but on dayboats it evolved from the gently sweeping saddle pattern to the idiosyncratic mouse ears. Some yards had a rather charming habit of painting their docking dates on the cabin side in the water runoff. The boat's rudder didn't get that much attention. It was a hard-used piece of equipment at the best of times, and it wasn't unusual for a boat to be dropped off at a wharf and the rudder removed and put on the next boat that was going to be moved. This in turn meant that some rudders were stolen, and to help combat this, sometimes the owner's name would be literally carved into the stock, then picked out in colour to make sure everyone could see it. Dayboat's answer to the perennial floral canal question was the BCN star. Often situated on the top panel of the cabin doors, these would end up as simple or elaborate as the owner wanted or the painter could manage. Mostly they were white over the ubiquitous red background, but there were other colours seen too. There is a school of thought that dayboat art is a throwback to the sort of paint you would have seen on the very first canal boats that appeared when the Bridgewater Canal was built, but there's no evidence that the dayboats of the Bridgewater were given any paint at all. That being said, the Pickford's boats all bore diamonds, so perhaps we're just looking at the wrong company to find this paintwork's ancestry. I hope this video has interested you today, and I'll put some links in the description of where you can find more information on the dayboats and the Birmingham canals. Join me again tomorrow as we look at the most famous canal art of all, roses and castles. Thank you for watching, and see you again soon.